All right, it's Friday, November 11th. This is a pre-opening SPY report about 50 minutes before the open. You can see here after a big green day yesterday, our pre-market activity is gapping a little higher at the moment between the blue lines. We've crossed the monthly green line here, the purple line yesterday, which turned the big picture monthly chart up. So we're still projecting up, towards September's highs up here. But I think today is a little tricky. This is the weekly chart that's kind of grinding up now towards its high, which is again that monthly high way back in September. But I think it's a tricky environment to day trade today, and we'll have to see what happens, because after you have such a big gap up, such a strong move, and then another gap up early on here in the pre-market action, what you're getting to, the only thing I could see on the daily chart, as I discussed on yesterday's closing video, there's a little fair value gap here on the daily chart between the low of this bar and the high of this bar. And you can see the pre-market highs is kind of now nudging into that gap a little bit, which could be a pause area as we work up. So yeah, you're going to have, let's go to the 1 minute chart here and see kind of prices gapped up, and it's kind of moving a little bit sideways here. Like I said, about 45 minutes to go. So you're going to want to see follow through above this high to really have strength and momentum today, which I don't expect, just given the fact that after a big day, you usually pause. So it's the type of day where if I had to look at the 15-minute chart and judge the possibilities for day trading, even though the bias is to the upside, I would say if you get a strong move up to start, and then you get the typical 15-minute kind of second, breakout, I'd be very nimble on that type of trade. You might come down and get stopped out at the halfway point to the prior bar. I think it would be good with individual stocks if you really want to stay on the long side to watch the first move of the day, and then if you get an orderly pullback just to the midpoint of whatever that first move is, and then a secondary push to test those intraday highs, that could be a good looking trade. Also, there's going to be the obvious red, anything red, you'll look for red to green moves, but since you might be below the close, let's say this yellow bar here is the close of yesterday. If you're going to have a red move that goes green below that close, yeah, I could anticipate moving up a little bit, but I'm not going to really expect a lot of momentum to the upside. So it's a type of thing where you would kind of target the intraday highs and maybe take quick gains type of thing. If you get any kind of red to green, I don't see any real interest in going short. Even if you could have, I guess, a big red move, a little pullback that doesn't get to the yellow line, maybe the halfway point to the first move down. You might see just on a pullback into this gap kind of thing. If that's going to be what happens today, you can try those shorts on kind of, again, I wouldn't do it out of the gates, but if you get if you see an attempt to rally that fails, maybe another move down, you can give that a shot to see if you hit the intraday lows and get a little follow through. But if you get that second move down on the day, let's say it goes down, up, a little down and can't do anything, then maybe the next green bar you can try so it'll rally a little bit. I mean, there are scalp type trades that are in play given the structure that'll develop, but I don't, I would, and again, you could be aggressive on the green opening that follows through, but just, keep your stops tight in case you don't get the momentum that you had yesterday. So anyway, we'll see what happens. The bias is still up. I think we're, heading, like I said, more in the bigger picture. Now that this monthly chart looks like it's green and heading higher, as long as we stay below the monthly open, we are kind of looking to get up to there at some point as November rolls on. But you just gotta, day to day. I think finally, as I look back at this week, Monday was a tricky day. If I look at the 15-minute chart, let's go day by day. I remember Monday was tricky and eventually kind of then moved up at the end. It was a very easy trade on Tuesday to just it was just a quick red to green kind of move, which you had a great first move of the day. I think yesterday, well, that was Wednesday. But anyway, yesterday was an easy short, in my opinion, because we were looking at this bear flag developing. We had a 2-down bar that really, we were thinking, at that point, the month was red and the weekly chart was kind of not, just inside and not working up to its target, or the daily chart was, but we were inside on the weekly. So anyway, it was a pretty easy short trade here. And then it was a very easy, that was Wednesday. And then on Thursday, it was a very easy long trade yesterday, quite frankly. So you had 3 days that this day, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, they were very easy trading in terms of opening price action. So you can't expect that every day necessarily, and that's what I'm getting at. So I think today is more of a consolidation day with a bias to the upside. So there could be opportunities to scalp here and there given how the 15-minute chart unfolds on certain individual stocks or maybe on this index, but we'll just have to see. And then again, definitely expecting higher into next week in terms of this bar should, wherever it closes, should be kind of strong green. So you'll expect a little follow through next week in some form. So that's why the bias overall is still up. You're just going to have to watch for certain kind of price action today to maybe take advantage of it on a very short-term basis.